Off and running. What's going on, guys? What's up again? Back for our weekly golf weekend preview this weekend, breaking down the Charles Schwab Challenge. Little recap. I guess we'll start out with from the PGA Championship last week. But what's going on, Green? How are we doing?
Well, you want the truth or the small talk sugar coated? How's it going? Because between the hand, foot, and mouth we got ran around my household and the leaky roof, it's not going great. But otherwise, I don't have any complaints. Doing okay. Doing okay. How about you?
Yeah, doing all right. I thought we were starting to get into some warm weather. Now it's like back into fall spring again. Somehow it's reverted back. But hey, this is a hell of a week for sports in this part of the country, right? We have some Pacers basketball, playoff basketball coming up. We have the Indy 500 this weekend, which maybe we'll throw some picks in for that. But yeah, Memorial Day weekend, ready to fire it up. So yeah, how did we end up shaking out last week on the PGA?
Well, I didn't really do too much outside of a couple DFS lineups. I think I threw out some names, but I steered clear in terms of putting a lot of money out there into the ecosystem, which I guess is a good thing because wouldn't you know, Scotty Scheffler gets it done. And we were kind of waiting around for that to be the case. And now it's been the case. And now I'm afraid we're going to just keep snowballing. And once he gets started, I don't know how he's going to be stopped. So, none of my lineups placed though. If that's what you're wondering, I think I had too much exposure to the Xander Schauffele's and even I had some Rory McIlroys in there that just, I mean, we were talking Rory up in one of the biggest fashions last week, and I'm not disappointed that he played bad because I typically don't root for the guy, but I was starting to come around to him. I was starting to think that he could do it, and last week he kind of showed me why I typically avoid him. So, um, another weak field this week though, so we'll have to look and see if there's some value picks down at the bottom of the barrel that we can get to.
Yeah, at least when I was looking doing my first run throughs, yeah, slightly top heavy field. I think this week there's some names that are certainly missing, but yeah, it always feels like quite a come down when you come off of the major, having a major field. Um, with all the live guys in, right? Who could be? We can't go a week without mentioning the live guys. Bring them
Yeah,
home. Bring them home. That's what we need to
yeah.
start that movement back up
I
again.
mean, John Rahm and DeChambeau, they did what they needed to do. I know Rahm struggled like the last two holes. He kind of fell out of a top position. He was in the mix for a little bit, but I'll give them their credit. They showed up, but I wish they'd show up every week and play with everybody. But I digress. We talk about that enough.
Yeah. Well, or maybe not enough. Not until it
Right.
happens. Not until we can talk it into existence. I mean, that's
Right.
really where we eventually need to get to. But yeah, nonetheless, I guess we can look. What all did we have last week? We already sharing that?
Yeah, I threw it. It was back here. I don't know if we need to remind the people. I mean, Scotty was down here mostly because of his lack of course history, which obviously didn't end up mattering. Outside of that, I mean, there's not a lot of bright spots. Thomas and McElroy did not look great. Fleetwood looked great at the beginning of the week, and then Saturday, Sunday fell apart. Shoffley, we all know what happened there. Mitchell again started off strong and then fell apart. So, as far as the model went, it wasn't the best showing, and you can blame that some on the live kind of mixture. Um, I'll blame it on whatever's most convenient. How about that? I don't know what it is, but maybe the easy thing is just to blame it on the players. My model's not wrong. The players didn't play up to my model, right? You never make a bad sports bet. The players just don't perform. I think is how every bettor needs to look at it. This week, though, is it's interesting because we're back to a course where accuracy is paramount. We're back to a course where distance doesn't really matter in terms of off the tee. So this is Colonial Country Club, pretty well-known course, par 70, bent grass greens. 12 of the 18 holes historically have played over par, scoring average over par. So it's a fairly difficult course, even though it is short, trees everywhere, narrowness. But if you look at these names the last 2 years, I mean, I don't want to say it's anybody's week because Scotty Scheffler is here this week. And you can see that the last 2 years he has had a podium finish, third both times. But you cross off Scotty Scheffler's name from these lists, and you're left with Colin, Keegan, maybe, and then a bunch of guys that most people watching this are not going to be familiar with. So it is kind of a field that is similar to what you're seeing here. It's a bizarre, pretty wide open field. Xander's not here. Colin's not here. McIlroy's not here this year. So some of those top guys are choosing to sit this one out. So again, we see Scotty in a weak field, which we saw 2 or 3 weeks ago when he ended up winning whatever event that was 2 weeks prior to last week. So anything you want to say about this before we go to some more stats and then look at what the model says?
Yeah, I think I was trying to think of some of my best bets that I had that didn't quite get there. Xander just fell a little bit short, but that's fine. We'll be back to that well again. A couple of funny things. Siwoo Kim, I've been mentioning him for a couple weeks. Like, hey, Siwoo's playing good ball. Like, Siwoo's dealing. Maybe Siwoo's back. He was smoking on the course, and
Wait, really? Like
yeah,
literally?
yeah, they asked him about it, and he said, "I'm just getting old and stressed."
Was
Which,
what was he smoking? A cigarette?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I know.
Wow. That's good. You got some good reporting here. I mean,
Yeah.
you're really packing the bonus features. Wow.
Yeah, no, I try to bring some entertainment value, but my other one, I think probably what I was most angry about as far as betting losing is I don't know if angry is the right word, but I felt very confident if you recall on Corey Connors top Canadian.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yeah.
he still had, I mean, it's not like he had a bad round, and I think. You said you were maybe worried about Mackenzie Hughes. Well, all the Canadians that he was against all missed the cut except for one, and I think that was Pendrith, and he finished like in the top five. So the
Yeah.
only which who could have seen that? Who couldn't have seen that coming, right?
Right.
Uh,
What was the final score? Because what did I say? I said 13 to 15, I think was my range. Um, last week because we talked about um it was 273. You're gonna have to do the math. I can't do the math that fast. 71 times 4 and then minus 273 is your answer. I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was 11. So I would have lost there because I would have taken um more negative, right?
yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't bet that, but it was a loser as well. It certainly played a little harder than I thought it was going to.
Another thing, I mean, heck, look, I mean, like I said, Siwoo Kim at this point, he's just a content factory and endless. Um, he's like a conveyor belt of entertainment. He also hit a hole in one, if you remember, last weekend.
I think so here's what here was my time. Thursday and Friday, I think I was fairly involved, and then Saturday we had a surprise birthday party for my mom that I was in charge of like getting her to without her knowing, and we woke up with my daughter having hand, foot, mouth that morning. So like from Saturday all the way till about hole 17 on Scotty on Sunday, I just lost track. I was not following, which I was kind of thankful I didn't have any bets in, so I didn't feel like I needed to be involved. Um, so yeah, once I saw Scotty was up 4, I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't need to I don't need to spend too much of my time there." So I even missed Siwoo's hole in one. So,
Yeah, with like a
um,
5 wood, I think he had a hole in one with a 5 wood. It's a pretty long one, but
okay. Wow. Yeah. We'll
Yeah, and what
we'll
was
see.
that? There was some bad behavior. What's his name? Was it Hadwin that broke his driver? You don't see that too often at a major where a guy gets so mad. Like he turned around and chucked his driver at like it was one of like at the backstop. Completely snapped the head off of the shaft. So
Well, hey, that was good for your Canadian bet, uh, you know, but I guess it didn't end up coming through anyway. But yeah,
yeah, was
the
it
Canadian
Hadwin?
without the
I don't know.
driver.
Maybe it was Wyndham Clark. I don't know. I mix those guys up a little bit. But anyway, yeah. It wasn't not the best week, but yeah, Scotty turned on the Jets again, and I don't know. Dare I say that he's starting to make golf boring? You know?
Uh, yeah, I'm not there yet. I kind of like to see it. Like I'm at a point where like Kansas City Chiefs, I'm tired of it. Like let's get this over with. Let's shake it up. I'm sick of it. I was happy they got beat by the Eagles. I'm still in the honeymoon phase with Scotty Scheffler, where if he just wants to keep rattling off victories, I'm here for it. I may end up changing my mind and be like, okay, we need to do something. But right now, I'm gonna enjoy the greatness because I was young for Tiger's like real true dominance. Like
Sure.
I was alive. I was able to follow it. I knew about it, but I didn't I wasn't absorbing it like I'm absorbing this. So um I don't think he's going to touch that legacy, but I would like to see something that at least is in a conversation with that legacy.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I know one thing that we will have an eye on at some point in this conversation is some market that I'm probably going to start dabbling more frequently in the winner without Scotty Scheffler. Because I mean, honestly, and if you even look at it, it's not that far. Like, let's just
You might
use
be right.
Spieth is 22 to 1, normal odds, right? Winner without Scotty Scheffler, he's 18 to 1. So like not crazy. It's not crazy adjustment.
At this point, I, I think I think that's smart. Especially here, especially at
Yeah,
this course, especially where he's had success. Let's talk about it. We'll see if Spieth even is worth our money because, spoiler, he's not,
yeah,
according to what I have, which I don't think is gonna surprise you. Strokes gained total, obviously, strokes gained putting, strokes gained approach, driving distance is not important, strokes gained off the tee is not important. And here's some quick course history. And again, I kind of did something a little different for the few people who come by week in and week out, just so you can see this a little better. This and this is crazy. This shows you how difficult this course is. Typically, I only include guys who have gained at least one stroke total on the course, and it's usually 15 to 20 guys. Well, I mean, we are scraping down to Lee Hodges to even get 8 to 10 guys who have gained a stroke on this course. It is a very difficult course. And, Griot, you would expect to see up here because he won last year. Davis Riley, or I guess Davis Riley won last year. Griot won the year prior. You'd expect to see him, but he only has 10 rounds. So you can kind of look at this and see, okay, Spieth not only has played a significant amount of rounds here, he has gained 2 strokes total. So maybe even though the model doesn't like him and it doesn't like him because of his recent performance, if he can channel some of the old Jordan Spieth, it is a Texas event. We know he's a Texas kid. Maybe the stars align there. Brian Harmon. Brian Harmon. I love Brian Harmon. 38 rounds here, played 1.23. I think it fits well for him. He doesn't hit the ball far, doesn't need to. Matt Kuchar, we see on here, has had success, maybe a DFS target. Uh, I'm surprised Kevin Kisner's even playing in this event. I've seen him do some broadcasting recently. Andrew Putnam's on here, name to watch. So yeah, you can take this information and kind of balance it out. But I wanted to show not only the amount of rounds, but also how they've done over that course, right? Like Sevenson, only 8 rounds played. Maybe not the most reliable data, but again, Harmon and Spieth played here a lot. So as always, I ran the model. Each trial, I tested different weights, different metrics, and it spit out a list of guys and a composite score, maximum of 100 points. And I put them all in, did that 10 times with different statistics, different metrics, different qualifications. And this is your summary. Andrew Putnam.
Yeah, we find ourselves on Andrew Putnam again. Like this guy is, he's really found some favor in your model here. I did want to say, we're not. I guess we're not going to see Kevin Kisner here on this list, but
Okay, he's not.
if you were interested, he is 700 to 1.
To win the event.
Yeah,
700 to 1.
yeah, yeah, yeah. $1 bet pays out $701. So,
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's yeah, have fun.
yeah.
Go for it. I'll save $1. So here the count is how many times they appeared in the models testing, maximum of 10. So Scotty Scheffler and Andrew Putnam appeared every single time, no matter what metrics I put in. I put in metrics that I believed were relevant to this course. Total points out of a possible 1,000. Yuski, see, this is alphabetical order. So I would have loved if Scotty was above, but that would not be alphabetically relevant. So I apologize. You see, he's 900, Putnam 760, and then just their average score. So if you look at the average scores, they're pretty similar across all things. And we say this every week. Berger has an average score of 78, but you know, Ben Griffin's okay. No, it's doing that alphabetical thing again. This is a good example. Adam Svensson is 76 on average, but he only appears twice. So I would rather have Ben Griffin, who has a lower average score but appears much more. So however you want to find balance, if you want to use this information, feel free, go for it. And here we are. We have our sheet that we can go through, and I've got some. I got some. I came a little bit more prepared today. I know sometimes we say, "Well, what do I like? What do you like?" So I'll change the color today. Let me add a blue here, so that people at home can tell if it's a pick that I have suggested or if it's a pick that you have suggested.
I have a feeling that we might be getting some off sheeters here today.
Okay, I'm fine with an off sheeter. I agree.
Some write-in ballots.
Yeah, totally understandable. So yeah, I'm curious about Andrew Putnam a little bit here. What are his odds? Right.
Well,
them
I already went ahead and loaded it up. Once I saw him up at the top, I looked. I mean, top 20 with ties, right? Of course, plus 360.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't hate that at all. I think, and especially as you were saying, with how difficult this is, and if you're worried about, obviously the Scotty situation, I think you could find some value in some top 20s this week, going down the board, finding
Agreed.
some guys that are maybe in good form or that play well here, or some combination of the two. They fit
Agreed.
the course. I think you could find some good top 20. Which is right in my wheelhouse anyway. That's where I like to be to begin with. So
Right. What I'm going to say, just looking at Putnam's recent performances on the PGA Tour in the year 2025, is at 6,700 on the salary side of DFS. I think maybe it's worth a DFS look.
yeah,
It's an ugly list. He does have success at Colonial. He has played well here. He has had some cuts, but he's had a 29, a 15, a third, and a 20th. But he's had 3 missed cuts. I don't think there is a way that I get to even a top 20, even though the model says maybe there's something there. I think DFS is kind of where I draw the line on Putnam, and I'm good to move past it and just accept that he probably has good course history and good approach play, and that's a bulk of what is dictating his score here.
what was his DFS price?
6,700.
Okay, all right.
We're getting into Kuchar territory. I mean, that's
Yeah.
What is Matt Kuchar this week? Is he pretty cheap?
Yeah, he's in the sixes. I'm pretty sure. I didn't have him yet. Didn't add him in there yet, but let's see. But again, yeah, 6,800. So yeah, I mean, anytime that you're looking at something where, hey, you don't have to be long and accuracy is favored, you need accuracy, driving accuracy. He's going to be your guy. He's going to hit his, straight down the middle. Not going to bomb it too much. He's not going to kill you. That's what I always say whenever you take a Matt Kuchar in situations like
He's gonna
this.
return value on his
Yeah.
price.
Yeah. He'll get you, he'll make the cut. And that's about it. He'll probably finish somewhere, in the 40s.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Scotty's 240 this week on.
It's just absurd. It's just absolutely absurd. Plus 240.
Is that? I don't know if that's the best price. Typically, ProfitX has a pretty good price
I
on
mean,
him, but
he's minus 700 to top 20.
good night. Yeah, FanDuel's 240 as well.
Yeah, DraftKings is plus 240. Yeah,
Which, like, I'm at a point.
top 10 minus 340.
I'm legitimately at a point where, with this field, like, I think you do one of two things. I think you bet Scotty Scheffler to win at 240 and you don't bet anybody else, or you bet everybody else you are comfortable with in the market of winner without Scotty. I think you have to pick a side. I guess you could do both.
If you're going to go outrights.
Yeah, I guess if you do go both, you could win both bets in theory, which may not be a horrible strat. I don't even know if 240 is a bad price. Like, I'm almost okay with saying I'm fine with playing 240 with this pretty weak field. I don't care. He came off a win. It's in Texas. We know he likes to play in Texas. We know he's had success at this course. I'm going to make my decision probably later tonight. But I don't hate anybody for putting something on 240. I still think we're above the value of Ohtani to hit a home run at 170 and Judge to hit a home run at 140, 150. Like, I'd rather have Scotty to win a tournament over 4 days than one of those dudes to hit a home run. And people take those bets all the time. So I don't know. I know your opinion. I know you're not there.
Yeah. If you didn't like plus 400, you're gonna love plus 240.
Right. Okay, Fleetwood.
Jesus.
Is the second most expensive golfer, I believe, on DFS. Maybe the only guy in 10,000 outside of what's Hideki this week. He might be the only guy. Fleetwood might be the only guy in the 10,000 range. Scotty, I think, is 13 something. So I mean, that's absurd too. Yeah, Hideki's 96, but I don't know. Tommy let me down last week. He didn't look good on the weekend. He's just one of those guys that I don't see having what it takes to get over the finish line. So I got nothing for him. Do you feel any certain way about Fleetwood?
Just that it's not a price I'm looking to get involved with.
Okay.
I just think it's a little too rich for my blood for where I
Sure.
like him to be. I mean, look, he's playing well. I wouldn't be looking to fade him, but
Sure.
he's just not somebody that I'm looking to back at this price.
Fair. Okay, Aaron Rye is a name we haven't seen here for a while, partially because distance has mattered more recently than it is here.
Yeah.
And I think we're finally playing a course where he fits 32nd, 12th, and 68th here the last 3 years, done everything well except putt. This year, he hovers around that top 20 mark. He had a period in February and March where he was cracking top 15 routinely. He's 33 to 1. I even think he's kind of expensive on DFS.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, he's a little pricey.
What's
For
his top
somebody that's as inconsistent as he is. Plus 120, top
for
20.
top 20?
Yeah,
See, I don't even know if I like that.
No, I know that I don't.
Okay.
Especially with what we've already discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that's a tough price for
Yeah.
Mr. Rye.
Yeah, I'll skip Rye. Ben Griffin Did get the win at the Zurich, which we will put an asterisk by because it was a team event and maybe he was riding Novak's coattails a little bit. But
8th last week. Where did
eighth at
that where
Quail
did that come
Hollow,
from?
right? Played great golf. Round 3 was a little rough, but gained strokes in every category, every other round. Only missed. He's missed a couple cuts this week. What's his history at Colonial? Cut in 52nd. Okay, but he's definitely in better form than he was certainly last year. But I don't feel great about it. I don't look at it and say I've got to go out and put some money on him. Yeah. I mean, what's his price? Is he over 60 to 1? Is he?
To win. Let's see.
Yeah, he's exactly 60 to 1.
Yeah.
He's exactly 60 to 1. So I don't know. Probably not. What's his top 20 then?
190
220?
plus
190?
190.
Yeah.
Again, you could get better. That's just the including ties price. So that's what I
Yeah.
always, yeah.
That's what I would bet anyway. I don't want to force it, and I don't, even though the model loves it, I just think there's too many question marks.
Yeah. Yeah. There's more value deeper down the board, I think.
Right. Okay. Berger is one that if we go back here,
He's somebody, I'll just put it this way. He's somebody I think as of right now, I'm comfortable paying the price for DFS with Berger.
Okay. He's 99. Ooh, so what is he, about the third most expensive?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, but you got to spend money somewhere, right? Like,
You're
I mean,
right.
if you're not paying for Scotty, if you're not paying for Fleetwood, you got to spend it somewhere. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
9,900. So
Okay. Wow.
he's right ahead of Spieth.
If he can putt, he may win, or he
Yeah.
may be up there. His putting has held him back more than anything. He did win this event in 2020. He has a first at Colonial. He has a 20th, a 23rd, a 45th. Okay. I think a DFS play is a strong option. He's got a
Yeah.
third he's got a third, an 11th, a 33rd, 21st. So he is trending. He is trending as we speak. It's a
He
weaker
hasn't had a
field.
bad, I mean, his worst finish is like 30.
Yeah.
I mean,
He is
going
the
all the way
second
back.
favorite.
Yeah.
So, I guess maybe justified. Is his top 20 above minus 150? Is it better than minus 150?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Minus 105.
Okay.
So I wonder if
It's
you could almost, dare I say, just throw Scotty and Daniel Berger in a top 20. I wonder if that makes it any better or not. I mean, it will, but sometimes with DraftKings, you do a parlay and they actually give you worse odds.
yeah.
Rob you in broad daylight.
Yes. That's my pet peeve with FanDuel same game parlay. Like last night.
Oh, you'll add a leg and it'll get worse. Like the price
Yeah,
is worse
like
than
that's how bad
single.
their
Yeah.
correlation is. I took Caitlin Clark's threes and I went to add the Fever money line and it
Oh yeah,
less.
goes down. Yeah. Yeah.
It's idiotic. Yeah, I'm actually okay with a Berger top 20 at minus 105.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Um,
that and some DFS. He's in my lineup that I threw together here, so
yeah. Okay.
just because like I said, I think you have to spend it somewhere and like you can either spend it with him, with Spieth, with
Yeah. Winner
Fleetwood.
without Scotty even 16 to 1. I know it's chalky, but
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. I
yeah,
mean, I feel like there are probably going to be he might be a pretty popular pick.
right. Yeah. All right. Hideki is one I really want to talk about because I am just chomping at the bit for Hideki to do something. I'm ready. And we have just been. What did he do? I mean, wait, he got cut at Quail Hollow?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was going to say he's been in rough shape, I thought.
the Cricket Club third round, that's when the truest. That's when the third round he went crazy and shot like a 9 or 10 under that day and then fell
Yeah.
apart in the fourth day. Yeah, he just it's
Uneven.
cut 17th, 20 cut 23rd. Yeah, it just what's his history here? Only played here once. What? He's played here once in 2014. Where's he been? He takes a week off? He's got no history here. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not a Chuck Schwab guy.
Do I want to be on Hideki when it's time? Or do I want to wait till he gets into form? You know, it's like, where's the balance? Is there value on him now that because he sucks? Probably not. He's the fourth best odds to win, 25
Like,
to
do you
1.
think he's going to be more likely to suck again, or like this be the week that it clicks? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's too many question marks for me.
Yeah. Even at 9,600, maybe it's too much. And the problem is, like, you can't pinpoint where he's going to be bad. Off the tee, it's 50-50. Approach is 50-50. Around the greens, he's been pretty solid. Putting, it's 50-50. So it's like he's not consistently bad at one thing where I could justify, okay, he's not driving the ball well. That's not important here, yada, yada. He's all over the place. We'll skip it. But thankfully, Brian Harman comes next. And we know how I feel about Brian Harman. And we also know how you feel about Brian Harman.
I was gonna say we have very polarizing.
I like a
opinions
value
here on-
play. I like a finding a guy that nobody's thinking about, right?
Well, speaking of which, anyway, I'll let you do your Brian Harman part before we move and keep on moving. Because I was just looking at our guy. Or wait, maybe that's wrong. I misread that. Chandler
All right.
Phillips. I saw Will Chandler. It took me to Will Chandler top 20, and as I was doing Control F, and it was like, whoa, 16 to 1 top 20. But yeah.
Here
Anyway.
is my sell for Brian Harman. Here's what I'm going to tell you about Brian Harman. Brian Harman has a win this year in Texas, TPC San Antonio, a course that is similar in terms of what it demands from its golfers. Brian Harman has a third place this year. This is his second best performance, was a third place at the RBC Heritage in Harbortown. Harbortown also very similar to this course. Brian Harman is I'm going to get off the tee straight. I'm going to have a good approach play, and I'm going to make some putts. That's what you need here more than anything else. Brian Harman has 2 top 5s at the 2 courses most similar to this course. He has a crazy resume here, dating back to 2012. Hasn't missed a year at this course since 2014. Missed the cut only once in the last 11 years, and it was COVID time. So we'll cut him some slack there. A top 10, a top 7, a top 14, top 23, a top 8. I think we need Brian Harman, whether it's in our DFS lineups at 8,500, or maybe an outright, or maybe a top 10, or maybe a top 20. And then I will be happy to skip a few of these guys and discuss further maybe some other options. Brian Harman is 55 to 1 on FanDuel. I would have liked him more closer to 70 to 1. Winner without Scotty Scheffler. Brian Harman is 40 to 1. So
I'm trying to find
actually,
it. Okay,
yeah,
plus
owners.
180, top 20.
Oh, I'm in. I would have taken him at 150. Yeah, I'm in. 180, without a doubt. What's his top 10? It's not going to be 400, but if it is, I'm interested. Very interested.
Top 10 plus 450.
Oh,
I don't know if that's let me see. I don't think that's including the ties.
okay.
With the ties that's top 20. Yeah, maybe well.
Top 10 is 450.
Yes. You could get, how about that? Listen to this. You could get Brian Harman finishing position. His over under 41 and a half.
At like minus 110.
It's like minus 120. It's a weird market.
Okay. Yeah, bookmark that for me. That's Brian Harman has what it takes skill-wise to do well here. Brian Harman has had success here. Brian, all the stars align for Brian Harman in my eyes. And I'm not saying to play him outright because it's Scotty's going to win the tournament, but I'm saying I think there's value in some props or some top placements. We'll leave it at that, and we'll move forward if you're okay. Did I sell you on anything? Like, are you interested in Brian?
If you wanted him to get lowest 18 hole score, so just have like the one best round,
Yeah.
65 to 1.
Okay. See, I like him more as a model of consistency than a go out and shine. Like, I would take
Yeah, he
Hideki.
does. You're right. He does consistently let me down anytime that I back him. So he is pretty consistent on that front.
You just stay off of him then. Let me have my success this week with
Here we
Brian
go.
Harman.
Here we go. I found this, including the ties, top 10 plus 360.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, if 400 I'm firing, 360 I'm going to have to think about it a little bit. I don't even know who Chandler Phillips is. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know. I have not heard that name, Chandler Phillips. So we don't have to spend a lot of time here. Do you know who Chandler Phillips is?
No, I was starting to look into him a little bit here. I'm not overly familiar.
6,700.
Yeah. Plus 400 on the top 20.
You know, it's kind of interesting. The Byron Nelson, he was 15th.
Yeah.
Valero, he was 18th. Houston Open, 32nd.
He tied for 10th with Jacob Bridgman at the Zurich.
He got 12th here last year. Maybe we'll call it a
great
DFS
mustache.
player.
He's got a great mustache.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah. Let's call him a DFS flyer. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe a cheap guy.
Put a little dot here. I'm going to put some dots on the DFS guys. Okay.
Yeah, he has some decent finishes.
Right. I
and
know.
None that are like glaringly bad.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Which is why I think DFS, if you can like say he's going to make the cut at
yeah.
6,700, that's a good spot to be.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, Harry Hall, I'm passing. He's just kind of a 40s guy. He wears the hat.
He is currently on my DFS lineup.
So we need to talk about him.
And he's plus 225 to top 20. He's
19th.
been on a little bit of a heater.
19th, 20th, 33rd, 49, 26, 18th, 54. You know, you were patient with me through Brian Harman. I'll give you some patience with Harry Hall.
I'm not going to say I'm a Harry Hall guy. There's actually another Harry that I'm interested in.
Okay.
If we could, maybe we could just do the Harry hour here. But
yeah, Harry. Yeah.
What kind of here we could go for our first write-in ballot here. How do we feel about Harry Higgs, the big rig?
You know, was he on a top? Did he? I feel like I've seen his name. No, it wasn't here.
It might have been in the course history, maybe.
Okay.
No, maybe not.
No, but I feel like I have seen him. Let me look and see.
Let me tell you what Harry Higgs is.
Please.
Top 20. The big rig is plus 750.
Okay.
To top 20.
All right.
I was hoping to.
Oh boy. Whew.
Not good. What are you?
I mean,
we have bad news.
It depends what you want to call.
He's 6,200 on DFS.
So the good news
coming off at number 2, a second place finish at the Myrtle Beach Classic.
Right, which we have to remember was
a lesser field,
was like minor league PGA that week, because it was played at the same time as another event. So he did get second. You're right, against Korn Ferry guys is what I'll say. And 5 of his previous 6, he missed the cut. The
Yeah.
one he makes the cut, though, it was the Valero, which I agreed was similar to this style of event. Texas course, be accurate, don't have to be super long. He gets 30th. So if I'm going to be consistent about how I grade these guys, I'll give him credit where he measured up, played well at a course that's similar to what we're going to see this week. 6,200, I'd be fine with you throwing him in a lineup. I don't even think I'd get to him at a top 20 at 700. Do you think you are going to make that investment?
I don't know.
He is from Texas. He is a Texas guy.
Yeah. Maybe I was giving him the Texas bump, the big Texas bump. I was going too heavy on that. Possibly. But I don't know. Maybe we'll have to hold. Maybe we'll have to hold on the big rig.
I'm okay holding. But again, if I'm in a pinch, maybe if I get Scotty Scheffler in a DFS lineup and I'm looking for a 6,000 guy to plug in, maybe I do it. Can you ever find a way that you could have Scotty in a lineup at 13,000?
No.
Like it's just not you don't even think it's possible to build that.
Oh no, it is possible to build it, but
Be successful.
I mean, yeah, if you want to throw in like, Harry Higgs, Harry Hall, like you're just taking, you're surrounding him with all the Harrys.
Chandler Phillips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Just sound like
Chandler Phillips, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Although shit, Johnny Vegas, he
Yeah.
he used to be one of my go-to cheap guys, and he kinda hit the skids a little bit, and now, I mean, he's been turning it on, so Johnny Vegas
Yeah.
might be back in
The
the
leaderboard
mix a little
last
bit.
week was really like, oh man, you could have made
Am
a
I looking
DF.
at the right event?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no,
Oh, no, yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw the leaderboard, I'm like, "Is this the how
This
did I
is the
get" Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's a DFS lineup right there in the top 5. Scotty with a crazy
Yeah.
price and all these $6,000 dudes that nobody's gonna plug in. Yeah. Um, if I wanna save some time or if I wanna just kind of run through the real glaring possibility is right here. Are there any other names you'd like to double check on this list?
On the list or off the list?
On the list for now, then we'll go off, and then we'll build some lineups. But
So Eric Cole is a guy that we've talked about. I've also I think I had him in a DFS for right now that I wasn't overly yeah. Yeah, this was kind of a wild lineup. Um Berger, Hall, Siwoo, Eric Cole, Davis Riley, Johnny Vegas. Have we talked about Davis Riley yet on here?
no,
That's another guy I want to check out. Anyway, um, you can do Berger, Spieth. I'll hold off on my DFS stuff until
okay.
yeah.
What I'll say about Lucas Glover is good course history, a lot of experience here, back to 2004. Now mixed results all the way up, but last 4 years, 23rd, 8th, 40th, 12th. Form is okay. He's had that TPC Sawgrass at the Players, at Valspar, top 10s. But then outside of that, he's just kind of doing enough to make the cut. 8,100, so maybe a DFS spot for Glover. What's his top? Is his top 20 above 2? No, it's not going to be above 2. It's not going to be above 2.
Oh, I'm looking at top 10 still. Yeah, right on. It's plus 200.
Okay.
So.
I mean, maybe. It doesn't scream value, so I'd maybe stay away. I'm okay with a 200. Okay. Eric Cole. Yeah, man of the Hinchman. We kind of talked about the fact that if you're going to bet anybody besides Scotty, you should do it in the without Scotty
Winner
Scheffler.
without. Yeah, go to the winner without market.
Because I'm of the belief that he still has value at 240. Now, my counterpart doesn't necessarily see eye to eye, but that's fine. That's why we're
Would
that's
you
why we're talking.
advocate for betting both markets?
Me?
Mhm. Like bet if you wanted to bet Scotty and then bet the market without Scotty?
Yeah.
Like, let's say you wanted to take Scotty at minus 200 or whatever the hell he is. I'm joking, obviously. But
240.
yeah,
Yeah, like, I would be okay with
but
betting.
you could take the winner without Scotty. Then you could, let's say you like Burger, you could go 1800 plus 1800 on Burger.
Yeah, and try to win both. Um, yeah. If that would be something that a person feels is a responsible use of their money, I would be okay with it. I wouldn't come out and say it's stupid. It gives you a chance to win 2. It gives you some insurance. Field versus Scotty is interesting. I don't know if it's available, Hinchman, but you can get Scotty to not win at minus 250 on Profit X. So it's kind of that's the field bet in theory. You can get him to not win.
I
Okay,
don't hate that.
Eric Cole 7,300. Kind of been sputtering, but a lot of his sputtering is due to his off the tee play, which, as we know, isn't terribly important here. Harbor Town, similar course setup. He gets 18th. One of his better finishes this year. Colonial history, cut and cut. Couldn't putt to save his life on either of those days. In fact, last year in round 2 of his miscut, he gained strokes in everything, but he lost 5 strokes putting to the field. At 7,100, is that what I said his price was? 73. Maybe you find a way to DFS him.
I
Um,
had him originally in a lineup here.
yeah,
Um, with my big rig lineup, but we might be retooling that one.
yeah. I'm not. If you think he's fixed his putting issues that held him back last year, maybe. Now I will tell you, his putting has been good.
But
Since
I mean, look, this is a course maybe that the greens are rolling a little faster. Like, I don't know, maybe the putting isn't quite as emphasized, do you think?
um,
Not as tough in Texas.
yeah. I mean, if we want to look at he putts better on bent grass, which is what this should be for what that's worth. Yeah, I I'm not as worried about that as I would be about his driver, and since driver doesn't matter here, I'd be okay with it. I'm not going to put any money on him, but I think a DFS play for Eric Cole. I don't think you need to refix your lineup.
Well, that was with big rig. I don't know if we
Right.
still need
Yeah,
the big rig
I'm
in
not
there.
sold on that.
Yeah.
Harris English is also a guy that's been in good form.
Hot, hot. Yeah.
So I don't know what his price is. It's 92. That's pretty expensive for Harris English. 9,200. I
Yeah.
guess he's been about that. Flat.
He's a
Well, last
guy he's a guy that you wanna take when there's a more crowded field because that's
correct.
when he's cheaper, has better value.
The most expensive he has been this year was the most expensive Harris English has been was at the Texas Children's when he was 7,800. He is 1,400 more expensive now than his
Yeah.
previous last high. So, you're definitely betting into form here. Wow, though. Wow. Harris English is playing golf.
Amazing. I know. We talked about him a couple of weeks in a row, I felt like I had him in a DFS lineup, the one that cashed all the money. What was that, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? He was
Yeah.
in yeah.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
been on fire.
He got second last week, 11th. Fell off at Harper Town, which is bad because it's kind of like this course, but he lost strokes everything. He must have had a bad dinner the night before. 12th, 18th, 30th. Okay, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I want to build a
I
lineup.
Yeah, because I have some other names. Yeah. What
sure.
about how do we feel with Maverick McNeely? What do we think there?
Yeah. So Maverick McNeely, 9,500. He's made a lot of cuts. Let's see his history here. Average 17th, 52nd cut, 20th, 32, 42.
Yeah, and he's even more expensive than Harris English if you're like for top 20s too. So
Yeah, he's a good off the tee guy. That's where he kind of makes up a lot of ground, but he's also a good tee to green guy, which is good. His approach play is fairly inconsistent, which is what you want here. That's probably why the model isn't loving it, because there was a lot of emphasis on approach play. So yeah, if you think he's going to come out and play well with his irons, maybe, but I think that will be kind of the difference maker in him, and his advantage with the driver is probably going to be lessened
yeah,
today or this week. I
man,
was kind of concerned that Akshay was not on here.
I mean, there's not a lot on this list of names that I love.
Who
Like,
did you have your eye on?
I have names written down that are not here, but um, I mean, like Davis Riley
Okay,
is
yeah,
a guy
let's
that
look
I'm
him.
surprised he's not in here. He's been playing well. He obviously did really well here. He has a good course history here. Um,
He got second last week.
yeah,
Cut prior, 45th, 32nd, 21, 52, 7th. Course history, first cut, fourth. Two top fives and a cut. Um, yeah, I mean, he had a bad stretch to start the year,
yeah.
like real bad, like missed
Which
holy.
sometimes that's good though, because then maybe there's some type of problem that needs to be worked out. They fix it, and then they're kind of on discount. They're still in the discount bin for a
Yeah.
little bit.
86 though, that's expensive.
Yeah. Um, how about like a Joe Highsmith? Well, I guess with Davis Riley, plus 190 on the top 20 if you're interested there.
Okay.
Um, Joe Highsmith, any notes on him?
Joe Highsmith, he wears that bucket hat, huh? That's his thing. I'm a hat guy, I guess. I always notice the
Would
hat.
you consider putting Joe Highsmith, Doug Gim,
Harry
and,
Hall.
and Harry Hall on on the same team?
I used to do I like back in my early DFS days, like I would when I did the 25 cent lineups and I'd just goof off, I'd like do some research and I'd make them, and then I'd just do, okay, we're gonna do a blue shirt lineup. Anybody who's wearing a blue shirt in their photo, we'd throw them in. Anybody who's got a green shirt, we'll throw. And wouldn't you know, like the blue shirt lineup would be my best. And it's like, why do I spend all this time researching if I can just pick guys with silly hats and do well? So
Bryson
maybe
could have just been picking Bryson the whole time.
yeah. Joe Highsmith, I mean, he is feast or famine, it seems. He's going to get top 20 or he's not going to make the cut. 17th first, 20th, 22nd, 8th last week, 66th, then everything else is just a cut. So when he's playing, he's playing. No history here is the thing. $7,000, you're going to take that risk? I don't hate you for it, especially if you're playing the hat narrative. But for me, I'm not sure.
He definitely steps up his game for the majors, that's for sure.
Right. Right. And so maybe he'll play better at a
I
more
guess not the
difficult course.
Masters, but yeah, PGA and the Players, if we're counting that, then yeah, I don't know. He was
Who
just
else?
another name that I kind of had when I was looking at odds. Because
Okay.
again, like I was saying earlier, for people that are just joining, I think this is a good week to maybe dip down the board for top 20s. Find some better priced top 20 guys further down. Guys like Harry Hall, as I mentioned, Joe Highsmith. I don't know. You could go Andrew Putnam, who's at the top of our list here, and
For whatever. Yeah.
Is Andrew Putnam like potentially the fly in the ointment of the model, or like he's just like the one, or do we think, hey, we're just like
Like
plus
like
360 top 20?
Like I might need to go back and see what's wrong, type of a thing.
Well, it's only him. Like maybe he's the only guy that's
Yeah.
missing. But I don't know. I mean, I like is Siwoo? Is he going to stay hot?
Like, why isn't Siwoo on here? Is he like?
Right.
That's weird. Let's see.
I mean, he's in my DFS lineup for sure for me right now. I'm going to ride the Siwoo heater.
8,900. See,
Yeah.
like I would rather pay 8,900 for Siwoo Kim than whatever Maverick McNeely was.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Same.
oh wow, Siwoo Kim might win. Siwoo Kim might win this event.
Winner without Scotty.
Are we? I mean, oh boy.
30 to
Okay,
1. 30 to 1 if you want to take him without Scotty.
okay. So here's what I'll tell you. Now here's what you have to keep in mind. The viewers at home need to keep this in mind. His course history is abysmal.
Oh
It
yeah,
is.
that's right. He hasn't played great here.
It's horrible. So it's
Yeah.
like, is it horrible because Siwoo Kim was not as good as he is now, and we can scratch that off and say, okay, well, Siwoo Kim is in a different form. He's better. He's playing better than he ever has. Who cares how he played here before? He's a different golfer, or is it? He's always been somewhat relevant. He's trending in the right direction, but this course is going to do what this course does to him. He does. He doesn't have a top 25. He's missed the cut 4 times, withdrew once, 30th, 60th, 50th. So ugly course history.
Was that the smoking Siwoo, or this might have
Right.
been before he was smoking C.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a cigarette brand that would be alliterative that we could we could brand him. I don't
We'll workshop it.
yeah. What I mean, I don't know many. What are some cigarette brands? Marlboro.
Yeah, I mean Marlboro Camel, Parliament, P Funks. I don't know. I don't smoke, clearly.
Cigarette brands.
American Spirit,
Yeah. I mean,
Pall Mall, Newport.
yeah. He was smoking a cigarette on the course.
Yeah. I told you he was like getting asked about. And as our friend Buzzy Betts pointed out, he also racked up like a pretty big bar bill. Like he was just boozing and smoking and
Okay, so maybe it's
getting
not
hole in ones. Like, he had
yeah,
a hell of a time.
maybe we stay off. Getting old and stressed on why he was smoking on the course. See, because like I can imagine one of these guys getting into their bag for a ball and they've got their Mr. Fogg down in the bag and they take a little hit, but to light up a whole
Oh yeah,
cigarette.
he was ripping a dart. Yeah.
Like I've seen them bend over for putts, and I can see that they've got a Zyn container or something in their back pocket, right? But to pull out a cigarette and a lighter,
He lit it off, he ripped it before teeing off the first round. That's when he was
wow.
seen doing it. So it was a pre-round heater.
What percentage of golfers do you think are in a 4-round tournament? At least one of the rounds have ingest nicotine during the round in the
Me
PGA.
me or PGA?
Like one in every how many guys? Like give me a percentage of guys who have nicotine in their system during a round that they seek out. Like, are you thinking 20%? Is that too high?
No, I think it's probably
Higher.
higher. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little under 50%.
Do they have rules around that? Like, can they put a pouch in their lip? Is that fine?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Oh yeah, then yeah, we're getting close to
Who is it that used to smoke and like, you could hold up the cigarette
John
to
Daly, right?
see which way the wind was going?
I feel like I've seen clips of John Daly doing that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I'll stay off of
He has his
Siwoo.
own set of rules. He has his own set of rules anyway.
Right. Okay, let me build this. Let me comb one through one time just to see if there's anybody that I'm confused why I don't see him on here, and then I want to build a lineup. Maybe JJ Spawn. Andrew Novak. This seems like an event where maybe Andrew Novak pops up, and you're
Anything
like,
on
oh
that?
wow.
What's going on with Echevarria, our guy?
How did he do last week? I know we talked about him.
ECH. 41.
Okay, well, not great. 7,000, pretty cheap. Didn't play at Harbor Town, so kind of hard to see. Similar course, TPC San Antonio didn't play. Let's see his history here. Got cut last year. Yeah, I mean he's cheap enough that if he putts well, he'll probably hang around. But I'm not. I'm not sold. I mean he's not a Brian Harmon if that's what you're asking. Okay, let me build something. Do you have a lineup, or do you need to?
No, I have two lineups that I've made. Let me run through this one because although now I'm like, this has made me rethink a lot of things.
Well, I don't like that. I mean, I need you to trust
That's why I
yourself.
was saying I don't like this sheet that we've pulled up here today.
You gotta submit one. You gotta like do an off limits. Like this is my first look. This is my locked in. I'm not gonna mess with it
Okay, I'll
because
tell you what that one was. I can tell you
okay,
what that one was. Because I have two that I have made. My first one that was just the locked in, like this is just my let's call it my dry run, right? Where
sure,
I open it up, I fire a lineup together, and then we start work. Then we start getting in the lab and grinding through to see
yeah,
how where we're at. So that one was Daniel Berger,
okay.
Eric Cole, Harry Hall, Siwoo Kim, Davis Riley, and Johnny Vegas.
I don't love Vegas. I think there's a huge letdown to be had after this event. I
So if
think
you don't
his
like
lean,
Vegas, there's a lot of guys in his price range you might
but
be
other than
okay
that,
with.
like I can fully endorse 5 out of those 6. Vegas is the one guy I'm like, no.
So he's 7,200. So if you want to, you could go up to Gary Woodland, but
Is he 73?
yeah,
You already have Cole. Fowler is interesting. No, he's not. He just can't. Fowler's not interesting. What am I
yeah,
saying? He
he's
has
a roller coaster.
good course
I
history
mean,
though.
he'll make the cut.
Yeah, yeah, and his course history is convincing. Oh man, Hendrik Norlander is dirt cheap, and he's up here on the list. Um, hmm, maybe because here's my problem. I now have Scotty Scheffler in my lineup, and so now I'm confined
Yeah,
to.
you got to dig deep. You might be down with your guy Valimaki.
That's who I was looking at. Do I need to get rid of Scotty?
Yes, of course. I mean,
Well,
you could go Matt Kuchar,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Cooch.
Like I don't love any of these. Like I just don't love a lot of these 8. Like I'm not sold.
It's a tough field. It's a tough field this week, I think. That's why I like going down. If you want to bet top 20s, that's why I like going down and reaching for some guys.
We're gonna go Scotty. We're gonna go Scotty. We're gonna go Harmon. We're gonna go Scheffler. We're gonna go Putnam. And we have 7,200 left for 2 guys.
72
And
total or 72 average? Like,
average,
yeah, yeah.
average.
Okay. I was
So
like,
I mean,
Jesus.
Highsmith is in play. Echeverria is in play.
Yeah.
Um,
Mark Hubbard.
yep, Doug Gim, Johnny Vegas, Matt McCarty. Wow, Matt McCarty's playing some good golf. What's Matt McCarty up to? This might be a play. We might. Why is Matt McCarty not model friendly?
Oh, see, Chandler Phillips. You could go him. He's 6,700.
Oh, he's in there. He's in there. Matt McCarty just doesn't have the data. He doesn't have the data. Okay. Jake Knapp, Eric Cole. I could go. Something tells me to go Ricky Fowler. Why? Am I crazy?
I just don't know that he's been doing enough. What do you think about Adam Schenk? Any thoughts on Adam Schenk?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. He's down there. He's pretty cheap down there.
Oh, Ricky is so bad.
Yeah, like I don't know. He's not. Seems unlikely. I'll put it that way.
But he has he likes the course. But how much does he like the course versus how much do I need to? Okay.
Does the big rig like the course coming off that second place finish
You
at
really
Myrtle?
want you really want Harry Higgs, don't you?
I mean, I want this plus 750 top 20. I don't know. Maybe Chandler Phillips will be my top 20 long shot at plus 400.
Hendrik Norlander. He's on the model. Maybe I need to just respect the model. Cut 50th, cut 73rd. No. What? No. It's so hard to forget Scotty Scheffler in your lineup.
That's why I ignore him.
But if he wins, okay, so I need to bet Scotty Scheffler outright and then don't put him in my lineup, and that's my hedge. Ben Campbell? Brian Campbell? I'd like to get this. I'd like to get this Webb Simpson. Wow, that's a name I haven't seen in a while.
I do have another one that I have Spieth and Berger. I can run through real quick. I went Berger, Echevarria, Hall, Higgs, Davis, Riley, and Spieth.
You're liking Spieth?
You don't like Spieth though.
I don't, but
doesn't he play well here? I thought this is a
he plays
good
very
track
well
for
here.
him. Good track.
He plays very well here. You're right. Brent Snedeker?
I feel like I've been good on the Jordan Spieth pendulum.
Reads.
All right, this is the week to fade him. This is the week he's good.
Yeah, no, you have been. But he's expensive, isn't he?
Yeah. But I worked him in. I mean, I could get rid of let's get Harry Higgs out of here. But then we're looking at a pretty rough list. Vince Whaley, Bo Hostler, Max McGreevy, your guy, Andrew Putnam, our top model guy.
Max McGreevy is so cheap.
Here's what I am going to do. I think I'm going to create our sheet lineup. You know what I'm saying? And I think we should keep track of how our sheet lineup does. The one that we just get as many high guys from the sheet as we can.
Right.
Yeah, no, this guy's right. He's right. Raymond, you are on the money. This is that's what we said. This is I was like, this is a tough board to read this week. I'm not, I think we did better with the Zurich Classic than maybe with this.
Well, here's the issue is we were waiting for Scotty, right? And there was this sense of joy of like anybody can win an event because Scotty's not right. Something's off with Scotty. It's anybody's game. And now we see Scotty winning the last two events he's played in. And it's like, well, now Scotty's going to win this. So now we're just kind of who's going to compete but not win. And that's the issue. This DFS is so hard because I want Scotty in my lineup. So the vibes are low because I'm trying so hard to pick a winner that I am struggling to find losers to pair with the winner. The vibes were higher at the start, I think. I think you're right, Raymond. Thank you. Go with Scotty, Raymond. That's my advice. I think Isaiah Salinda may be a sneaky play. My gut is saying that Isaiah Salinda, He has no data here. I'm going with my gut here.
And I'm out of sorts anyway because I don't have Xander to bet on this week. That's like my
Right.
old
But this
faithful.
doesn't open up any. Taylor Moore? Yeah, just building this lineup is putting me through it. And it's because I'm trying to get Scotty in here. And I need to not, right? I need to not. Okay. Well, Ray, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ray. Ray the realtor, I believe is who this is. He comes by the home run videos from time to time, and he's maybe a new watcher. I don't know, but I'm happy to have him on. So glad he's joining for the golf, expanding the territory for the Green Means Go community. Yeah,
He immediately assessed the vibes accurately too. That the
yeah. Which
tough.
yeah. So here's what I'll say as my final word. I think Scotty wins this again. If you feel like you want to bet him at 240, I'm not mad at you for it. If you're going to bet anybody else, I think the winner without Scotty market, if you can find it at slightly worse odds, is the way to do it. And if you want to bet both, I'm not even mad at you for it. If this event wasn't in Texas, I may even say let's leave off Scotty, but there's just something about this guy in Texas. As far as outrights, my next favorite is probably Brian Harmon, which is going to make Zach sick. But I think Brian Harmon top 20 at 180 is a good bet. Outside of that, Chandler Phillips in a DFS lineup, I think has some value. And maybe a Burger top 20 at minus 105. I have nothing else that I am running to the window to get down.
All right. Ooh, here we go. Did you say you like Lucas Glover? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. See what you think. This is our sheet lineup, right? So far,
Okay.
I have Berger, Griffin, Harry Hall, Brian Harmon, and Chandler Phillips.
Doesn't sound good. It does.
Now we have 8,200 remaining.
Oh, okay.
For the
Okay,
last
that's
spot.
better.
For the
That's
last
better.
spot.
Can we get Hideki?
No.
We can't get Burger then.
We're way off of Decky. We're
Aaron
a
Rye?
grand out. No, I think we're pretty far off of him too.
Oh man, this is brutal.
Here's who we have. No, Andrew Novak, tough showing last week. Lucas Glover,
Okay, there it is. There
Akshay
it is.
Bhatia.
Lucas Glover.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'm okay with that.
So that could be our sheet play. Yeah, because any lower is not great, not pretty at all.
Yeah.
So Lucas Glover, that gives us, I mean, I don't think anybody here needs to be upgraded. I can't believe how expensive Ben Griffin is. That's crazy.
Right. This
Just not
one
a
is
household name.
I wish I could show this. I don't hate this. Can you read this? Go full screen. Do full screen. This is similar to what we talked about, but I think there's something here. Burger, Fleetwood, Glover. Oh wow, I get the total show all to myself. Burger, Fleetwood, Glover, Harmon, Phillips, Putnam. Similar to what we built, but
the only problem is it's like inverted.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. Here, there we go.
You cannot flip. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. Burger, Fleetwood, Glover, Harmon, Phillips, Putnam.
Mm-hmm.
You leave off Scotty, but you capitalize on Fleetwood. You capitalize on Burger. You capitalize on Harmon. You take Lucas Glover, who I like anyway, and then Putnam, who's number one. We don't know how, but we'll accept it. And then Chandler Phillips. That might be it, because I don't really love Ben Griffin. I don't really love Aaron Rye. I hate Harry Hall's hat, so I'm out. And Hendrik Norlander is not in form. I'm submitting it. I'm doing it. I'm locking it in, and I'm not thinking about it anymore. It's the model play. That's my model play. You do yours was what? Let me do yours.
Burger. Yeah.
Yours was
It's
Burger.
Berger, Glover, Griffin, Hall, Harmon, and Phillips. See, look at me. I'm even reaching across the table to put to let Brian Harmon break bread with me, you know.
So what it comes down to is which two are better? Fleetwood and Putnam, Ben Griffin, Harry Hall.
Yeah.
You'll have to decide. I also could have put in Spieth, which I know he's not on the model, but if you want to look purely based on course history, 38 rounds, 2 strokes gained, been great here. Last 2 years, has not made the top 5 though. I'd be interested to see if some of these rounds were in his glory days, his heydays, his Jordan Spieth days. But otherwise, I think we're in for a fun weekend. And I do
Yeah,
plan on watching.
hopefully if Scotty can stop ruining the sport. That
Enjoy
criminal.
greatness. Just enjoy greatness.
Yeah,
Is
lock him
that
up.
is that the finished top 10? Okay, so Ray, these guys are just who the model likes, and these guys are guys we're trying to fit into a DraftKings DFS lineup. As far as outright bets on different props and markets, we didn't feel like there was an overwhelming amount of value this week. We were in consensus that Burger top 20 at minus 105, maybe even
Yeah.
top 10 was good, and Harmon top 20 at 180, given the style of play he has, given his course history, was a pretty good bet there. Outside of that, just because of how bizarre this field is, where you have a top dog and then you kind of just have some fringe guys, like Colin's not in here, Rory's not in here, Xander's not in here.
I'd say there's not a lot of guys, and like if I recall, like this is some of the lowest scores we've seen on this sheet, like where a guy who's at 138 is on here, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like this
that's a
is
good
a
point.
top to bottom, this is some of the lowest. Like it gets yellow quick, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
Like
actually a very good point to mention. Like 500 is usually like down here.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
right.
weird it is a weird situation. So,
And there's not a lot of guys I feel that check all the boxes of, oh, good course history, good form, and a good fit. Like the game fits the track.
yeah,
I think that there's not a lot of people that check all those boxes.
no DFS in Connecticut. Okay, that's interesting. Um, yeah, so
Hmm.
that's what we were focused on at this last part. Harmon or Burger it is. If you're gonna bet them outright, Ray, I
Look
I
at
would look
the no Scotty market.
yeah, look at the price between them to win outright and then to win in the market without Scotty.
Yeah.
I would I would take a couple bucks less just to know that if Scotty wins again, I can still win. Um, I think Harmon was 60 to 1 with Scotty, 45 or 50 without. You're going to be happy winning a 45 to 1 anyway. You're going to be ticked if you take a 60 and Scotty win. I'll say it for me. I would be ticked if I took a 60 and knew I could have won a 45. Um, Yeah, I don't. It's another one of those where it's like if it's not Scotty's week, it's anybody's week, and I don't know. Uh, I don't I don't love anybody outside of Harmon, which may be my fatal flaw. And Glover, I think Glover's a good spot this week too. Okay, well that's all I have as far as this goes. You want my Indy 500 pick?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
actually, my
yeah.
crowd.
Yeah, what do you
Listen, Ray,
have?
we work better with the crowd. We've got good crowd work here. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
toot our own horns, but
Yeah.
sometimes
When
we.
especially when there's people chucking peanuts at the stage. That's when we're really, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Super Chat hasn't been in
Positive
here.
and negative reinforcement both work though. So
Right. Um, I don't know much about IndyCar. I should because my brother-in-law worked for Marcus Ericsson when he won the 500 and then worked for a rookie last year, but now he's on Scott Dixon's car. So, uh, I have a vested interest in Scott Dixon only because of familial ties. So my pick is Scott Dixon, and it's not rooted in anything remotely close to analytics, history, whatever. I couldn't even tell you his price. I'm going to guess
um
12 to 1.
He is, I guess, best price that I see here is FanDuel at 9-1.
Okay. Yeah, 12-1 was my guess. That doesn't mean 9-1 is good or bad. I
This was 2 days ago. Maybe there might be updated odds somewhere. This was just a
also don't know if like every state has the 500 as a betting market. It might be one of those weird ones where you can't bet it. That may be misguided.
no way, no way. It's like betting races. Like you can bet, it's like you just have to go to like IndyCar series.
Okay.
People might
And
like try looking for it in like F1 and it's not going to be there.
okay. Well, that's my pick. Do you have any insight into the 500?
I wouldn't call it insight because I mean, it's I hate to say that it's a crapshoot, but it kind of is because of like, you can't predict wrecks. Like people could wreck and then your guy gets wiped out just because he was behind him, or gets screwed on a bad caution when he's about to take So there's a lot of things that have to go right for you to win. Timing your pits, right, making sure you don't wreck, but I will say it's funny you mentioned the Marcus Ericsson. I happened to bet on him that year, uh, just because I was like, it was the year my son was born, named Marcus, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna bet on this Marcus guy to win. And lo and behold, he did. He drank
See,
the
it's the
milk.
hat. It's the hat thing, right? Bet on the golfers with the funny hats. Bet on the guy whose name is your son's name. Like sometimes in betting, you win the dumbest bets betting the dumbest ways. Maybe there's something to it. I'm making a
Yeah,
hat
maybe
right now. Okay, with
look and find a. I mean, I consider him. He's probably a contender, Marcus Ericsson. I mean, but you can get pretty good number like 22-1.
okay, yeah, wow. I don't know who he's with anymore because he used to be with Chip Ganassi. I don't think he's with Chip Ganassi, but I
Andretti,
don't. I don't. Okay, he's with Andretti.
yeah,
Yeah. But there's some issue with Penske. I just saw today that there's like
yeah,
a cheating
cheating,
scandal.
cheating,
So
yeah. And then people were going to the museum on the premises, and because they have the car from Newgarden's car last year that won, and the same, and people are like taking pictures, like, oh, well, the same thing that was they just got busted for cheating for is, or I guess not cheating, they failed inspection or whatever you want to call it. But it's
right,
on that car that won last year.
huh?
So
And that's illegal.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, let's vacate the title and refund the bet. That's what
Right,
I.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I got there. Go Pacers tonight. I don't know. I think Jalen Brunson is the series. I think if he averages 28 in the series, the Knicks win. I think if he is below 20, I think that's the magic number. I think OG Anunoby could be in for a big series. That scares me a little bit. I'm not convinced that Towns has looked the best this postseason. I think the Pacers bench is a little stronger, but I'm excited.
They definitely have more depth. No doubt
I,
about
I,
that.
I fear I don't want to be this kind of a sports betting guy. I don't want to be. I hate this narrative. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But I fear the money side, the market side of the NBA wants the Knicks in the finals.
Well, the Knicks are going to get a friendly whistle. I mean, we saw that last year, and that was not even in the finals. I mean, that was in the second round series.
I mean, even the Pacers
And
Cavs, it was
yeah,
brutal
well,
to watch.
if you
The
remember
Pacers had
that,
to outplay the whistle.
it was game one, I believe. The Pacers should have won at MSG, and they called Miles Turner on that like moving screen. That was just a horrible call.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
And then I think,
So
yeah, they lost like, it was like a critical play with, less 30 seconds left or so, but it determined the game, if I remember.
yeah. So I don't want to be one of those guys, but I'm not saying it's rigged. But I think we know what helps the NBA is bottom line, and I don't know if it's Aaron Neesmith and Andrew Nimbard, but I could be wrong. Maybe they'll maybe it'll be too much to overcome, which I felt like the Pacers were so good against the Cavs that the refs couldn't. I mean, that last game, Mitchell had 22 free throws himself, and the Pacers had 17. Like, it was just anytime Mitchell went into the paint, it was called. So, and Brunson's just as bad at the head flop and the falling down. So I already know I'm going to get annoyed, but it is what it is. It's the name of the game. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I got no other insights.
Yeah.
Throw away the
Well,
key.
yeah, go ahead. Take the Pacers. They're going to win the series. They're moving on. So, yeah. Sorry, Knicks. You're overvalued. You should have lost that series to the Celtics. If they blew a 20-point lead 4 times. Like, come on. Give me a
That's an
break.
interesting stat. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
And the
they blew.
Pacers find themselves in holes that they have proven they can get out of. So maybe they've
Yeah.
got confidence in that, and the Knicks lack confidence in their ability to hold leads. Perfect storm. Good insight. I like it.
Yeah, the only game that they didn't blow a 20-point lead was the game that they shot 15 for 60 on 3-pointers.
Not great.
Not great. Not great.
Yeah, they don't really have any shooters on that team. So, and the Pacers, if the Pacers can light it up from 3, that's good because they're not going to keep like who can make 4 threes on that team a game.
Which team? The Knicks?
Yeah.
Brunson.
Bridges
Yeah,
isn't going to be
no.
like they don't even have big.
Towns can hit. He's
Yeah,
just gonna stand in the corner and fire threes.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's almost 5. Wow.
Yeah, it should be a
We got
great
started
series
later
either way.
today.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little late start. We had some Euro League. We had some repairing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, smoke and see woo into the weekend. Let's enjoy your holiday weekend, everybody. And what do we have next week? What's the tournament next week?
I'm a 1 week at a time guy, Zach.
Oh,
Remember?
come on.
1 week at a time.
Let's see. Oh, the Memorial. There we go.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Merrifield Village. All right, that'll be a fun one. That always has a good field.
Maybe I'll go. How far is Dublin?
I've golfed in Dublin before actually. It's Columbus.
Okay. Hey, Scotty won it last year. Wouldn't you know? Colin, Hadwin, Buzadenhope,
There's a lot of good golf
Ludwig,
courses in Dublin.
Step. This tournament this week is missing so many guys.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
That's
I'm
why
looking
I
at the
was like,
top
it
10 of
sucks.
Colin, Fitzpatrick, Oberg, Sepp, Finau, Xander, Thagala, Hovland.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying reach down
I'm
the
sorry,
list and
Ray. That's
grab you
why.
some top 20s. Reach down the
Yeah.
list and grab some top 20s in the bargain bin because there's a lot of guys missing.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
going to be some weird names in the leaderboard.
Yeah. All right. I'm good.
All right, yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Good luck with all your bets, and thanks for